On this episode of the Bozo podcast, the boys talk about their favorite upcoming games, Nathan plays Viscera Cleanup in real life, and Dan does his best PowerPoint impression. Welcome to the Bozo Show!
Oh,
Bozo time!
Week 1 is done, Nathan. It's done.
We're back to week 2.
Week 2 recording session. It is a Monday. We record on Mondays. Spoiler alert. This was a cool week because we got to see the beginning of our channel blossom on YouTube.
Yeah, the shorts are doing well.
Yeah, we had one short that got 10K. We just started doing shorts yesterday, so our first short ever got 10K on YouTube.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that the comments were a little ratty, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it's a short about your rat behavior on Mario Kart. Like, that's just...
Fair. I was being a rat, but also, come on. Like they're being like, oh, you're drinking Michelob's? And then another guy was like, dude, the point of Beerio is to get drunk. Like you're doing this to win? What a prick. And I'm just like, everyone I played with thought it was funny, and it was a fun little gimmick, and I played like 2 rounds. Plus, like, everyone was already like pretty
really
drunk and hammered, so it's not like we were playing Beerio to get drunk. We were already drunk, adding on top of it.
I would have been mad at you if you played against me. Let the record show.
Well, you were not in the game. I was playing with Jackson, who invited us and so graciously let me play Beerio with him. But literally, like, no one was upset, and the comments were like freaking out. And I'm at work, and I'm like looking at the comment, and I'm just like typing back responses, deleting, because I'm
Don't tell me you're actually about to reply, girl. You're gonna be like,
I was. I do it on my own channel. On my own channel, when people argue with me over shit, most of the time they're wrong, first of all. So I just fire back and be like, no, you're dumb.
That would not get to me at all. I don't think there's a world where that gets to me, where a comment's just like, you should know, it's obvious.
It did. I don't let it get to me, but it's like one hair like from getting under my skin, because like, well, the reason I do it on my own channel is because most of the time it's like people trying to talk about like game mechanic stuff, and they're just so insanely wrong.
Yeah.
So I'll just fire back. And then like the one short I had that did like almost 2 million views was just me in the comments fighting for my goddamn life because I called
the Flame War.
I called Ludwig's God Gamer Gauntlet Challenge easy. Yeah. And people were not happy about that. But it's a fucking easy challenge.
You're insulting their gamer skills.
If you play any of the games, it's easy. But yeah, I was in the comments just like fucking giving it to people, and like it was just driving up engagement, because then more people would hop in those threads and argue back with me. And that
you're trying to hate boost our channel. You're like getting ready in there.
Listen, I restrained myself today, but there might be times where I don't restrain myself. Then who knows? Maybe it helps us. So.
Let it be known. Be on the watch. Careful. Your comments are being monitored closely.
I liked every comment and then just laughed it off as in a sarcastic way, where I like to put my chin up and held the higher ground.
You like using the channel like button. Every comment will get a channel like thing.
I'll like every comment pretty much.
I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a channel, except for ones run by you, where every single. Yeah, I don't see that ever.
I don't know. It's like it makes the person know that we see their comments and they're heard. Especially when you're a small channel, it's like, you know.
I feel like I'm Syndrome from The Incredibles. It's like, if everyone's special, no one will be. I'm like, how dare you? You're taking away the award.
You're all special. You're all very special and near and dear to me in my heart, and we appreciate everyone who views this channel.
And then you spit on them by treating them all like dirt. And you fight them in the comments.
And I'll fight you in the comments if you act up or call me stupid.
I took my medication before this, which makes me a little nauseous. I have ADHD medication.
Which is
fun fact.
Quite possibly the worst thing you can have as a video editor, where you need to be sitting and focusing on one screen.
But apparently all of them have it.
Yeah, it's actually true.
Everybody in content creation, it's insane the amount of people that, I guess people might not know this, like a huge amount of content creators all have like ADHD and take medication for it.
Well, ADHD helps you be entertaining because your mind's always going in different directions and subverting expectations, which means good comedy. So
yeah,
ADHD is a good quality to have if you're a content creator, which maybe that means why I'm not a successful content creator, because my brain is so hard locked on one thing at all times and doesn't wander at all.
We need to start like I can like spit in your mouth and give you some ADHD.
I don't think it works. It's not like AIDS. Like, it's not like that.
That's not how AIDS works either. Wait.
Hold on. AIDS can be transmitted through saliva. It just has to be like literally a bucket full of saliva.
It's
true. It's a true fact.
I don't like that you're carrying on the like AIDS scare epidemic going on.
Listen, you can kiss
Bring
someone
it
with
back.
AIDS, but don't be drinking a bucket of their saliva. I think that's a pretty easy thing to avoid.
Yeah, I feel like that's why most people are like, it might be a little overblown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, back in the day, they were so scared of it, but it was it's like unless you're
I've only done like
Blood swapping.
twice.
drinking buckets
By the bucketful.
Oh, interesting.
It's kind of romantic.
Is that something you're into?
Spiritually.
Why? Okay, how does that work? You get a spiritual hard on, and you spiritually come in a woman.
No. Spiritually,
Or man?
it's not sexual. It's more just like, becoming one.
Like your souls connect.
Like part of their DNA is now part of mine. I'm like my body's breaking it down.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's
I think
how it works.
You kind of just toss all the DNA away, and then you absorb the bacteria.
I think what happens is I become a little bit like them. Like I think if I have enough spit, I'll just wake up one day and I'll be you are what you eat, and if I eat you, I'm you. We're opening to an interesting conversation.
This is we're getting down to the real nitty gritty stuff.
This is literally this whole podcast is just an excuse for me to talk about my spiritual ways.
And your spit drinking.
Well, this is one of the many. We'll get to the others eventually, I'm sure, one day. But
Well, speaking of spit, gamers spit on their screens when they're
Damn
yelling
right.
at the Call of Duty
They
players.
do.
And there has been a lot of gaming announcements recently in Summer Game Fest and the Xbox reveal, and they did like a Ubisoft reveal today or some shit like that.
ding ding ding, gamers, get ready to be fed because we are serving up hot content in terms of game trailers all day long.
Imagine a burger, but it's a video game. What do you think the Assassin's Creed burger tastes like?
Oh, I feel like very like metallic. I just
Like
feel
bloody?
like it's like
Like
I just feel like
coppery?
I feel like it's just like raw meat essentially.
It tastes like blade and blood.
Yeah, it's a razor blade. It's a
Ooh.
razor blade raw beef burger.
This is like the ones that the parents told the kids to be careful about when they
Yep.
eat their candy from strangers on Halloween.
I never accepted burgers on Halloween, I'll say.
Me neither. I was more of a 4th of July thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I was also still never to accept food on 4th of July, but that's just
I was eating
separate.
everyone's hot dogs. I was slurping all of them glizzies.
slurping them glizzies down.
I was the town glizzy gobbler.
Like a good
on 4th
American.
of July. I'll eat anyone's glizzies.
Do you have any like standout ones that you saw already that you just like are dying to talk about?
Well, the most recent that comes to memory is the Xbox reveal.
Yeah.
And I used to be an Xbox gamer, so I do kind of keep up with series that Xbox or Microsoft create. Mm-hmm. Plus, they've only gone and bought like a million fucking small studios anyways to make games for them.
Yeah.
But the one that I was actually like, this is pretty fucking sick is Fable. They're bringing back Fable.
Yeah.
So now I never played Fable, but I was a huge like fan of people who played it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So the new series coming back remastered. I kind of want to experience what Fable was like for the older generation for myself with this new game. So that one was pretty sick.
I think there's the biggest one has to be
Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Killer Bean.
Oh, dude, Killer Bean is so
Bean.
hyped, dude. Come on, we have to play it on the channel.
Solo dev.
And it's
Killer Bean.
It's a roguelike. It looks
Yep.
like Just Cause 3 with all the action and the stunts and the cars and whatnot and the guns, but
I'm
it's
actually
a fucking
so
roguelike.
incredibly hyped for the Killer Bean game.
Dude, it's right up our alley where we're going to be playing roguelikes on the channel, and then it's fucking Killer Bean, bro. You're doing backflips and shit. You're fucking throwing bullets and shooting angle around corners. It's crazy.
My only thought, like, it's because the host for that was always hyping up all the developers.
Oh, my boy Jeff Keighley. My real boy.
And so he was talking about, I'm like, just imagine being the solo dev. Because he also, I don't know if he solo made the animations, but imagine your entire, like, life, you're earning, like, what you do for a living. It's like, what do you do? I make the Killer Bean franchise.
Yeah,
we
that's
released
fucking
2
crazy.
movies and a video game right
That guy
now.
made the movie all on his own? Is the same guy?
It should be. Maybe he did like an animation team,
He
but
didn't, like hire a dev to like help him. He's just doing it on his own.
at least Jeff Keighley.
Jeff
No,
Keighley's
no,
the
no, no.
host.
I'm asking his name.
Yes, Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley said solo dev, so at least I know for the game he did all the animations and
Oh, okay.
stuff. So I'm assuming if he did all the animations for the game, there's a chance he could have just done all of it for the movies.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Maybe he's just like a super fucking sweat creator guy,
Sweat.
and he knows how to make animation movies, 3D
Yeah.
animated movies, and 3D animated video
In a way,
games.
he's kind of like, he's achieved what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to like write shit. I want to be able to make games. I want to be able to do animation. And he put all this different skills and way different spectrums of art together to create Killer Bean.
Imagine your whole life. You're making things and trying to like create the next big like solo indie series, and Killer fucking Bean is what blows you up. You know what I mean? Like, such a fucking ridiculous.
No, it's got to be amazing though, because now you don't even have to worry about like making this like super like crazy story. It could just be funny as shit. You don't have to really worry. Everyone's just like, yes, Killer Bean.
As long as it's crazy action.
The crowd in the convention is, I think, is like the most hype that they were for any of the other games. It's just like, yes, Killer Bean.
Dude, I've had that game wishlisted for like 3-4 months now before they even announced it at this thing, and now everyone fucking knows about it, so it's hype. The trailers are fucking crazy. Like the one they just released for the Summer Game Fest is like mechs and giant oil rigs are fucking going and fighting. So I'm like, what the hell is the
car shoot chases, the ski boat riding, where you're like launching up on top of the mech.
Dude, it's ridiculous. You can just fucking fly in and out of cars.
I have no idea how the game's gonna play. I have no idea how it's a roguelike, but I want to find out.
I'm getting heavy like Just Cause 3 vibes, but like it's a roguelike. So Just Cause 3 is like an open world like Far Cry, GTA kind of thing.
We talked about it for a little bit. It could be like the Hitman, where it's just like different missions.
Oh yeah,
remember?
we did talk about that.
Yeah.
So Hitman has this. What is it? What's the game mode called? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what the game mode is.
Hitman has a roguelike game mode they came out with like, I want to say like last year or something, and it's basically like missions with randomized elements, and then by doing these missions you earn money to buy like better guns and better upgrades, and as you go on the missions get harder and harder and harder, and it's a roguelike. So like if you die you lose all your items at the safe house, and you have to run it back from the start, and you have to get through all the missions to like take down the special operative at the end, something like that. I'm
unironically gonna put like 200 hours into Killer Bean. I already know.
So am I. Are you kidding me?
Oh, did you see Cuff Bust?
Oh, is that the one with the mice looking guy, alien looking mice?
Is it the weird alien guys?
Yeah, and they're busting out of jail.
I thought it was so, I don't know. The trailer was just like a YouTube video. It felt really weird. It had like the bouncy captions underneath. You could tell that they were like, this is a trailer for YouTubers to watch. Because they're just like, the trailer was literally, it was another solo dev though.
If it's cooperative, like team-based.
I imagine it's going to be like, you know how they used to do Minecraft Jailbreak?
Yeah,
I think it's literally just that, like a setup where it's not Minecraft.
They need to like streamline it and make it more gameplay focused and less roleplay focused, though, if they're going to do something like that.
I think it's literally just made for YouTubers to play. Yeah. It has to be. I think their hope is to get those people who used to do the Minecraft like jailbreak stuff to be playing this game instead of people who don't want to be playing Minecraft anymore.
Hopefully they can get like the Among Us crowd. That's what you really need to get. You need to get like the OTV, like Valkyrae, Pokimane. I guess Poki's not really in the streaming space that much anymore. She was Among Us though. She was in Among Us a lot, but it was more so like the Valkyrae, Quarter Jade, Masayoshi combined with like Ludwig and like Lily Pichu and that whole crowd. Those people, if you can get them to play like a game for at least like a month straight, just like constant.
I mean, that's your goal, is the solo dev. That's it. You're done.
Your shit's blown up.
You made it.
So if that game can do it, it's gonna be successful. Isn't it? Who's the dev for that? I feel like I just read up that they made a game before this.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, it's the same dev that made Choo Choo Charles, the fucking train horror game.
Wait, really? They made the horror one? That's
I remember reading that and I was like, what the hell?
What a shift
I know.
in games.
Dude, he's trying to make the paper. He's like, all right, I'm talented enough to make a game. What game can I make that can apply to like a mass audience?
He's literally just content brain, but for game dev.
Yeah, game dev content brain. Like he's basically trying to make games that
for
appeal to a big audience. Yeah. Yeah. And YouTubers, yeah.
Also, is like speaking of Among Us, the Outer Sloth initiative, which is kind of interesting. Did you remember that? So Inner Sloth made Among Us, and I guess they made it sound like it's not a publishing studio. They made it sound almost like a fund, like a grant type of deal for like other like small indie game development things, and they're calling it Outer Sloth, and so they're helping like put a bunch of new indie games forward.
Are they like funding? Is it just like a publishing company they're funding, or what?
I think it's a publishing company. They basically said they wanted to give everybody else the deals that they wish that they could get before they made Among Us.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, Among Us made a shit ton. They're making a TV show. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no, I also saw that. I have no idea. I feel like it's going to be targeted to like little kids.
Yeah, it's got to appeal to the younger audiences because none of the fucking older streamer people are going to be playing Among Us anymore.
I'd be interested in seeing if it's like a long running series. My guess is that it's like each individual episode's like a different like crew. Like they all die and then it starts and everything resets. Because I can't imagine them how are they going to get like a long storyline, like 5 or 6, at least 5 or 6 episodes.
If guys are going to die and like, you know, and then they're just out of the series, like what do they do with that? Maybe it'll be like, you ever seen the show Love, Death, and Robots?
Oh, yeah.
That show's really good.
No, that one is an amazing show.
It's different, like, art styles. Sometimes it's live action. Different stories every single episode. And they're, like, 10 to 20 minute to 30 minute, like, just little futuristic stories. Kind of like Black Mirror, but more...
Yeah.
Less realistic, like, on-Earth type shit. I mean, Black Mirror has episodes where it's, like, in space and stuff and crazy. But this one's, like, almost every episode is, like... has some crazy futuristic alternate
it's
universe
just an
shit.
excuse for like if you want to see the best CGI and like animation you'll ever see, it's there. Like you're not gonna get that. Not even Marvel movies are that good.
It's not even fully futuristic too. There's some episodes like the one on the pirate ship with the giant crab that like is like taking the ship hostage basically, and then they have like a whole like mutiny situation. Like that one was awesome. Like that show's unreal.
Some of the stuff there's like I don't even remember the context that it's in, but they're like flying these planes and like you could just barely tell that like the entire thing, including the people for that, was CGI, and I'm like, it's so insane. Like how
some of the live action stuff you don't even recognize that it's not live action. Like it just looks so real.
I feel like there's so many people who'll be watching that think it's real actors, and I kind of had that similar thought like watching some of these game trailers where games are starting to look like really, really good.
Yeah.
And I like there's like our kids are probably like for their regular games are going to be like, oh yeah, do you want it to be hyper realistic, like look exactly like real life or not?
Yeah, they're gonna have a choice to make. I mean, it's like a crossroads. Like half the games are going for ultra realistic, and half the games are going for like
super cartoony or retro-y. Like there's the Power Rangers game that's like full retro beat 'em up.
Unless it's like literally attempting to go for like an art style that looks like a PS2 game or PS1 game, like knockoff. It's that like every game's gonna be either trying to go ultra realistic with the AAA titles or trying to be like a fun bubbly style, like or it's like there'll be the one-off like grungy weird pixelated game. Like you ever play like Dusk? Dusk is like a fast-paced like boomer shooter, like Doom or whatever.
Okay,
but it's an indie game and it's like super pixelated graphics.
Oh, all right.
But still in like a 3D landscape.
Yeah.
It's like if Doom wasn't like PNG walls and stuff that like scroll, and it actually had like 3D modeling and stuff.
That's kind of sick.
It's super fast paced.
The new
fun.
Doom also kind of looked kind of sick.
I didn't see much of the new Doom. I'm not
the
really
trailer,
a Doom guy.
I legitimately thought that it was you know that like what is it? Crypt of like the tomb dance game where like you dance along to it.
Crypt of the Necromancer or something like that. The one that had the Zelda tie-in.
I literally thought that the new Doom game was just that because
like
the trailer everything was like exactly timed with the music, and I'd be like, that's actually kind of sick if that lines up to where the music like lines up with the action like perfectly. I'd be like, that's sick. Because there are some games that do that,
but it'd have to be like if it's a first person like just dynamic game, that'd be crazy.
There are games that have done that. It is crazy though. Like you'll have like you have to approach writing music like the soundtrack completely differently to where it's like there's like 1,000 different like tracks possible.
Yeah,
and you have them all be
and
cycling
they have to like
through.
melt into each other basically.
There was that this is not a new game, but there's that one game, that underwater diving game, that's 3D that everybody super liked. It was this huge puzzle game, really amazing graphics.
Dave the Diver?
No, not that one. That's
underwater
a roguelike
diving game. What are we talking about? Endless Ocean.
It's a story.
Endless Ocean.
I don't know.
Is that the Nintendo one where you go and see the whales?
It's like a polygonal type beat.
Oh, interesting. All I can think of is like Echo the Dolphin.
Dude, I played Echo the Dolphin.
I had the Game Boy one, I think, the 2D one, which was kind of dog shit.
No, I did too. I think I played it. I probably had like 20 hours in it. I didn't know where the fuck to go. I would just be swimming for like an hour. I'd be like, man, the movement's really fun in this game. Too bad I don't know what to do. And then pick it up again and I'd be like, man, this movement's really good.
That game is notoriously confusing and so much worse than the PS2 like 3D one.
It'd be kind of funny to... I kind of want to... It'd be funny to try to make a series playing it, like not looking anything up, and it's just like, hey, episode 30, I still know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Where the fuck am I supposed to go? We should run the 3D Echo the Dolphin on the PS2 because I remember my friend.
Is that good?
I don't fucking know. I remember my friend having it, and I was so jealous because I had the shitty Game Boy one, and I was like, man, I like the Dolphin, but this series sucks. And then I saw the PS2 one, and it was like, you're just whipping through the undersea water.
I'm down. I'm down to fucking rock the PS2 game.
We'd have to track down a game, which who knows if they're just available online. Probably, honestly, because no one fucking cares about it. So they're just selling it for dirt cheap.
We will play the game with a legal copy, ran on a PS2 original hardware.
I'll have my PS2 shipped all the way down from New York, and we will totally play it on an actual PS2 with the actual disc.
Yep, we shall.
We'll
and I'll definitely use a real PS2 controller and not the one that says... I have like one that's like VB4, and it's got like weird buttons, but it's shaped like a PS2 controller. Allegedly.
Fucking Mad Cats. You ever have a Mad Cats, like the shitty knockoff?
Wait, I actually do. I do. I think I have it with me. It's a shitty Mad Cats.
With the turbo button?
Yep. Oh, and it lights up and it goes like... I don't even know. What is it supposed to do? Does it make it so you can mash buttons?
It's like the turbo button. So like... back in like the old days when you were playing on like an NES and you had like the normal controller, you had to tap A for each like say you're playing like something like Life Force or like
so
a
you
shooter.
can just hold it down so it does the fastest
turbo button.
Or whatever.
You once it's lit up, you just hold A and it shoots it as fast as the inputs can go.
I wish I knew that as a kid because like I actually played like fighting games and stuff. Like I played Melee a lot with my. That would be kind of useful to have.
Well, does it? I don't think they have it on anything past like PlayStation.
I had a GameCube controller for it, but
turbo on a GameCube controller?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep.
I guess they did then. I don't know. I just remember having a like the weird like one that's shaped like a dog bone on the NES, and that one had a turbo button, and that was sick. But I
just was so confused. I'd be like, what the fuck does it do? It just started flashing red, and I'm just like, okay. And then I just turned it off because I'm like, I don't know. Is this supposed to speed up my controller?
I didn't understand
what it
was used for until I like came back to like when I was an older person and I went to go load up the NES games from my childhood, because that's how I learned how to read, was actually from playing an NES game.
You're not being honest.
I'm 100%.
You learn how to read from an NES game?
Well, I used to play when I was like 3 or 4 years old.
The order of operations that you said I came back as an adult to play the NES games. That's when I learned how to read.
No. So I came back because when I originally was playing NES games, I was like 3 years old, because it was like the first. My dad had one in college, so it was like one of the first consoles I had when I was a kid. So when I was 3 or 4, I would play like the original Super Mario Brothers, and I would get frustrated because I didn't know how to read, and like it would say like World 1 or like Game Over or whatever the hell it says.
I like the idea that you die, the game over screen happens. It's like, what is going on?
What does this mean?
I don't understand.
What does it mean?
Is it a hint? Is it a hint?
I would have to ask my sister, who's like 6 years older than me, and be like, what does it say? I was a baby being like, what the fuck does this say? Hey, big sis, come and read this. And then eventually she was just like, it says the same fucking thing every time, asshole. Like, shut up.
Yeah, you need to get better at reading.
So then I was just like, oh, this is Game Over. And then eventually I was just like reading like Life Force and all of the text that comes on screen, those shitty like old RPGs or whatnot.
I think one of my first games was the Super Mario Brothers 3. I played it on my cousin had a old NES, and he'd always play it. And I'd just be like, so can I?
Arguably,
can I sit there?
Best 2D Mario.
It's so good. It's so good.
Am I crazy for saying that? Some might say Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo.
World's pretty good though.
Super Mario 3 just like hits
I'd have to play them back to back. Yeah,
I don't think it's fair for me to say that, because I had the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario World, and I don't think I ever got past like halfway through the game.
I played all of Super Mario World a few times, but that's because I also, for a while, I liked ROM hacks and stuff, so I'd play like ROM hacks of Super Mario World. There's like 1,000 ROM
They have
hacks.
crazy ROM hacks. I was watching Ludwig's Fast 50 thing, and he had what what is his name, like Grand Pooh Bear or something, who's like a Mario runner.
Yeah.
And he's also a streamer. He's done stuff with like Small Ant and Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. Cool guy, kind of a crazy dude, but cool guy.
Okay.
He was supposed to host a Mario World like tournament or something, speedrunning tournament with like a bunch of like the talent that was there. But the adapter that had like the 4-player, because Super Nintendo only has 2 controller ports, so he brought his own adapter that allows it to have 4 controller ports so that people can all play on the same screen or something like that.
Yeah.
And it broke, so he was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's load up a ROM hack and I'll just play like a super hard Kaizo level. So he loads up. It was some like Doom knockoff, but with shells. I can't remember the name. It was some clever like pun name.
Yeah.
But he's just doing like the craziest shell jumps, like without even breaking a sweat. He's like 1-2 trying it.
I love watching
sick.
like simple flips and stuff. Like I that's what I do for fun. I'll sit down and be like, all right, time to watch somebody play like a Kaizo hack for like 2.5 hours.
Lil Curbs was there too, and he was commenting on it, and even he was like, damn, that's crazy.
This guy's fucking it up right now.
It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Like I wanted to try it, but I know I would never be able to do it because it's all like little like frame perfect inputs that you have to like release the shell at a certain time to jump off it in at the same time in midair after kicking it out. Oh, it's ridiculous.
We should try. We could do like speedrunning challenges sometime. What are your thoughts on Mario 64 speedruns?
I'm dog shit at them, but that's only because I have never grinded them.
I can do like everything pretty well up until BLJs. I just can't.
Oh, like 16-star races?
Yeah, 16-star races.
My PB's like 23 minutes. I've only done like 10 runs maybe.
I've been on pace. I think the best I was on pace for like 21, 22. But
So we're probably pretty evenly matched.
But it's the BLJs. I think it took me 30 minutes. One time, I had a really good run. I was racing against somebody, and then I spent an hour trying to do BLJs.
Dude,
and then I just was like, I'm done. All right, like I'm not.
How an hour?
I can't.
Surely they finished like quickly.
Oh yeah, they finished. They beat me because like we were like pretty neck and neck. I think they were a little bit ahead on the BLJs, and I was just like, oh, we'll see.
You don't even have to mash that fast. You just have to time it with the stairs.
I don't
and then
know.
mash.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I've tried like everything. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm mashing too fast.
I'm like max 5 tries.
I feel like I'm mashing too slow. Maybe I need to get a new controller. I don't know.
Yeah, your GameCube controller is whack. I'll say it. I've held your GameCube controller. It's kind of scuffed.
I'll take that because that's like an excuse that it's not on me then.
Okay, never mind. Your game controller is perfectly working. It's not the game controller. It's definitely you.
I don't know. Roll back like 2 seconds ago. What did you say?
I don't know. I've exclusively played on emulator with an Xbox controller. I don't think I've ever used the GameCube controller. So like the A button on the Xbox controller is like pretty nice for BLJs.
I guess I could try it on an Xbox controller. Oh, you know what? I was using an Xbox controller for some of the stuff. I should switch back. There was a while when I was using the Xbox controller, and it just feels nice.
Yeah, the Xbox controller is probably like the greatest gaming controller there is, just in terms of comfort and practicability. Maybe not in terms of like how nice it is, because it's kind of cheaply made sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's always I hate the PlayStation controller because both thumbsticks are down here and they're so fucking wide apart. And the PS5 controller is kind of nice, but the old ones had like the thumbsticks that were just like curved, so your thumb just slips off of them. Like if you ever held a PS3 controller, it's like one of the worst feeling controllers of all time.
I think we just bring back the Wii remote, like steering remote.
Okay, well the Wii remote was good, but it's not a real controller. It's a gimmick.
I think it's a real controller. Come on, Joy-Cons. They can be any shape. You can hold them. I can game like this.
To be fair,
when can you game like this?
I prefer the Joy-Cons over like a Pro controller in terms of Switch gaming.
Oh yeah,
but I use the little adapter that you like click it into.
If you're doing a Pro controller, just use a Game Boy or not Game Boy, a GameCube controller.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Exactly.
I feel like just get like a nice GameCube controller because the Pro controllers I just feel like are small.
I honestly, the Switch is annoying to use because it's like for different games I prefer different controllers. Like I'll play Smash Ultimate with the Joy-Cons and Mario Kart.
Really?
But then Mario Party, if I'm not using a GameCube controller, I'll hate it. I don't know why.
That's fair.
Mario Party is just like you have to play Mario Party with a GameCube controller. It's just like it's just classic.
We need to record. We should be recording extra gaming videos only because now I just want to be playing games. I'm like, damn, I think after this, we'll probably be spoilers for later the week. I think we're going to be recording Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm like, damn, we should be doing some GameCube games. We should be doing Mario Party with the lads.
I'm telling you, if this channel goes anywhere, we make a Patreon, and we just literally, like, if I don't have a job, we can record instead of 1 day a week, like 2 or 3 days a week, and then just have the rest of it be Patreon, and have like our people who actually like us pay money to see like actual like fun and crazy content that like YouTube won't necessarily. It won't necessarily like stuff like a Mario Party. I used to stream it and like make YouTube videos out of it. It doesn't get views. But if you like us enough where you want to see our personalities and our competitive sides come out against each other, and maybe like get our roommates involved to come hang out on the channel, and like if you just want more of us, then like a Patreon just makes sense.
I like watching Mario Party videos. I think they're fun.
They're just like, I don't know. It's hard to get invested because it's like not a continuous thing. It's like really short lived, and that's kind of like hard to follow if you're not playing the game because it involves some thinking. It's basically like watching a board game, which I guess there are certain YouTube channels who have like made board games into videos and it works. But that's like when I used to watch like board gaming content, it was like Funhouse or like Achievement Hunter or like channels who I was already like really invested in these people's personalities. And I feel like a lot of the time video game.
For like channels like that, also it's like the board game kind of, because like they're like usually dressed up, they're doing like role
they go
play
above
and
and
stuff.
beyond,
Like it's more so you just want to be watching them do like fun characters, and the board game just acts as like, all right, what character?
It's the medium for them to enhance their personalities.
All right,
basically.
pirate board game. Guess we're all pirates today, and then you get pirate drama. #pirate drama going on.
That's a big thing in like that I believe in content creation is like a lot of times it's not about what you're doing, but about the environment you put yourself in. And the more environments you put yourself in, the more your own personality can shine, and then the more people like your content for you and not for what you're doing, which is something that I haven't really been able to capture in my own stuff just because my content was speedrunning, and now my content is information-based video essays. And I did have like a small core community of like maybe at max like 50 to 100 people who cared about me, but that was incredibly hard to grow, whereas like a YouTube algorithm is much easier to hit with like informational based content or speedrunning based content than it is like just posting like your live stream clips and stuff.
I think there's so much value to like having people like the content creator than just the content. That's where it really takes a turn.
Oh, that's the goal. That's the dream. The dream is not to have a product, is to make yourself the product. Like you don't want, like you do want people to watch you regardless, but you don't want people to be like if you're summoning Salt, people like you for your history of speedrunning video essays.
People like it for the speedrunning.
If you try to pivot to like, say Summoning Salt just starts like going live and playing like, I don't know, like Resident Evil 4 in a casual playthrough and he's just hanging out. Like there'll be some people there who are just dedicated to like
conversion rate's just gonna be a lot different.
It's gonna be a lot lower because people are gonna be like, oh, I don't care about Summoning Salt as a person. No offense. But I like his video essays. I like the information he gives me and how he packages it and makes it hype and cool. In an ideal world, you become someone like if you want to become a successful content creator, in an ideal world, you become someone like a Miz or a Lud or someone who's it doesn't matter what they're doing.
Just going live, just talking, goofing around. That's what people want to see.
People will like it.
You can go anywhere, do anything.
I mean, they have like max charisma stats maxed out. Maybe not Miz, but Lud.
Maybe not Miz, but
I don't know. Miz is a cool guy. I met him a couple times. Cool.
Yeah,
but like people like that can just go live just chatting and get like 10K viewers and talk about stuff. Plus they have so much going on in their lives that they always have something to talk about that they're like working towards or that just happened that they can react to or something because they're so ingrained in the space and are always doing stuff.
Biggest personality, I feel like obviously like Jerma, who can literally do face cam on, face cam off. Like any random thing, he'd pick up a game from like that he just found at the dollar store. Be like, all right, guys, today we're playing this dollar store game that I found. I have no idea what it looks like.
Jerma is such an enigma because he's much older, so he has like a really quirky and odd personality that wasn't developed by streaming. So when he like plays video games, he just sees it in such a different way than like someone like me who's played video games since I was a 3-year-old. You know what I mean? So he just like has the sauce. I don't know what it is. He's like
got the juice in him.
He just is the goofiest human being ever on accident. Like not. I guess he like sometimes he plays it up and runs bits predetermined, but you put that guy in any situation and he's electric. You love to watch him. Like I don't something about him is just like his quirkiness, his goofiness is just like you can't not love him. He's just hilarious.
No, yeah.
That's the dream.
That's the goal, baby.
If you have a dedicated audience like Germa's who will literally watch you for whatever you do, like that's the goal.
I remember the thing that got me wanting to do streaming was I would watch people like Vine Sauce or like Simple Flips, which I was saying, where like they were just guys who were playing random games. They like really niche, but they just like they have that core audience, and they'll just watch them through anything. They could be playing the original Roller Coaster Tycoon for like the 90th time, and that's all they need. And I think they're more secure in what they're doing than like a lot of people in the content space. And they just get their job. The vibe's just we're hanging out, bro. We're chilling.
Like ideally, like if you're a gamer who likes a specific genre or whatever, like you find the people that are just interested in everything you're interested in, and then like if you find like a bunch of people who are just like aligned with the same exact interests you have, then those people are like, this person is just like a famous version of me, akin to your interests, like not like personality or whatever wise. So like for me, when I started watching people, obviously like Ludwig, I'm wearing a fucking Mogul Moves jacket, but Ludwig was playing Pogostuck, Jump King, all games that I had like on my wish list before I bought my PC. And then once I bought my PC, I started playing them. And because I started playing them, I started watching YouTube videos on them. And then Ludwig was like the biggest one making videos on them. Yeah. That's how I got into Ludwig. But like, then I kept watching, and he started, when I started playing Valorant, he started playing Valorant. When I started doing this, he started doing this.
He's copying you, dude.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, this guy and I have very similar interests in a lot of stuff. And then now
you're getting ready to take him out.
Making content. Well.
Oh, make content.
I don't know about that. Ludwig, you're safe. Don't worry.
For now.
Don't stay away from this fucking guy, though. Jesus.
It's fine. I've not been following him.
Watch TwitchCon San Diego 2024. Watch your fucking back.
Be careful. Don't release this.
Where there's a bomb under QD Cinderella's baking truck.
Okay, I don't remember this.
Mark watch your fucking words.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we should put it up bomb threats on the second episode of the podcast, guys.
CIA, if you're watching this,
just joking.
Don't worry about it.
I don't like. Now we're mentioning the CIA. I feel like we're
FBI. Don't even worry about it.
You're racking up a tally list.
Fine.
I do not associate. I know I'm the one who just said out of pocket stuff, but I also do not associate.
I'm a good citizen. No criminal record. I'm fine.
I also have no criminal record, and I'm great.
It's satire. Speaking of TwitchCon, what are we doing? Are we going?
Oh, dude.
We have plans.
They keep on raising them damn prices for the tickets.
Damn TwitchCon prices keep hiking up, man. They keep hiking it up on us.
A block party, which is going to be interesting. I don't know about the block party.
Listen, Seb said this yesterday. The TwitchCon party is for viewer, not to sound pretentious, but the TwitchCon party is for the viewer to get an extra thing out of the weekend. But for people like us who are more ingrained in the culture.
Oh no, I guess that makes sense because of you're probably gonna, especially if you're traveling from a different state, you're probably gonna be with a smaller group of friends, so it gives you a party to go to.
It gives you a place to go and meet people and just be among a large crowd to do stuff.
The early bird discount's so small though; it's $20 off if you get everything on top. Otherwise, you just pay full price anyways.
I haven't even bought a ticket yet.
I haven't bought a ticket yet either.
Realistically, one, I need to wait for a paycheck that I know I'm not gonna spend a lot of money and then buy that and a flight and whatever. Two, we don't even know where we're gonna stay. We'd have to figure out an Airbnb and whatnot, which always is a pain in the ass every year.
Thank God it's not in Las Vegas though.
Oh, dude, Vegas was the fucking worst. I had an Airbnb post try to make me cancel so I wouldn't get like a refund and help from Airbnb.
Very fun.
Because they were literally breaking the law by having their Airbnb open, because like Las Vegas has strict like zones that you can't be in. You can't have like Airbnbs in certain zones of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because of like the government's trying
It's like,
to like
it's like what New York does. It's because it's just bad for like
it's bad for like the hotel business and the real estate business, because people will just like buy up properties and then rent them out on Airbnb or something. So the government's making like laws to restrict people from just like spam buying, like the rich buying property
like,
and
real,
using it as Airbnbs.
because they have like rent control and stuff in certain places.
Yeah.
But then you can get people who will like buy up like specific like touristy areas. They'll buy up like many houses, and then they'll be like, all right, super high stuff. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, so since this Airbnb was in close proximity to like the Strip and I guess the central downtown Las Vegas, whatever, there was some like restriction that like she basically got a notice on her door that was like, hey, you cannot rent out your property for shorter than like a month or something. Like, you need to be leasing this out to like an actual applicant and not be an Airbnb, something like that.
Yeah, because they're like residential like areas, and they're running them like mini hotels.
Yeah, exactly. So she basically sent me that notice and then was like, hey, can you cancel? I'll give you your money back, which is not a guarantee. She could have just, if I canceled, she could have just taken my money. So I'm like sitting there in the Discord call with all the people that I was supposed to be like staying with, like, what do I do? Like, do I cancel? Should I listen to her? And then eventually it was like, no, don't trust this motherfucker. So
never trust the Airbnb people.
I called Airbnb support, and a support operator was like, yeah, just go ahead and cancel. It'll be fine. She'll probably give you your money back. And I was like,
he just didn't want to do his job.
Do it. And I waited. I slept on it basically. And then the next day, I'm back in a Discord call with Noah and like everyone else who's in our Airbnb. And they're like, dude, call support again. Like, this is too sketchy. This is like getting weird. Because she was like, because I waited a day, she was like spamming me like, hey, please cancel. Like, do it, do it. And I was just like, okay, this seems like weird now. This is getting weird. This is fishy. So I called Airbnb support again, and a different person picks up, and they're like, oh yeah, that's really weird. Like, let me cancel it for you and like report her and whatever.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting like it was like $300 or $500 voucher on our next Airbnb like listing that we got.
Yeah.
But it's like, what the hell was the first support person doing? Like they
just
tried
were, like,
to fucking set me up.
Easiest solution in their heads, just like, all right, now either I can go through this whole process, or I could just be like, fuck it, do it.
I was like, did the Airbnb host have like an inside man that she was like, hey, support guy, tell this guy to fucking cancel so I can scam him?
Some support people just like don't care. Like, I had this earlier today. I went to go log into my Premiere, and it like auto like signed me out, and when I went to log back in, it was like, download free trial. Like, it didn't recognize that that I've been paying for it.
Relink your subscription or something?
I called the people. I was like, the person responded like, hey, like, what seems to be the issue? And I could tell there's like a little bit of noise in the background, and it goes quiet. So like, I think they're like in an office space or something.
Yeah.
I tell them what happens, and then it just no response. I stay on the line for like 4 minutes. I'm like, hello? Is anyone there? And then it just hangs up. I call back again. The same thing happens with a different person. I think they just don't care.
Wait,
I called the Adobe like help people.
Could they hear you?
Yes, they could hear me.
So they were just airing you?
They were just airing me.
Well, call centers are like one of the most miserable and annoying jobs to do.
No, they're awful jobs, but I've never experienced somebody who just like, I was just like, I think he just muted and walked away. I think he just muted and walked away from the phone. Like, what do I do?
Like, hey, what's up? It's fucking like, Adobe or whatever.
I'm like, this is my job. I can't edit without my program. I need to log in.
So what happened? You get like a third guy? Call a third guy?
After calling like 4 times, I found somebody. And
4 times?
Yeah.
Jesus.
They also
figure out your customer service, Adobe.
I love
God
their answering machine, because before you can get to that, you have to do like the big like rundown through, you type the numbers like, if you're looking for a blank. I went down the path that most applied to me, and it just went down to, we do not have that on the phone.
Yeah, literally.
Goodbye. And I'm just like, why is that an option? Why is that even a thing? Why what do you mean you don't have it? Like, transfer me to anybody. Don't just hang up on me and make me start from the beginning.
Most of my adult responsibilities involve me like going on the internet, figuring out that, oh, this isn't gonna fucking work because they're basically like their websites suck. Like for like the fucking Austin, the Texas DMV, the damn like passport shit I want to get. I want to get a passport. Or like insurance stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll call and figure it out. And then it's like an automated thing, and they don't have what I'm looking for, and I'm just like, what is the fastest route to get in touch with a real human being?
It's all on purpose. It's all on purpose so they can have as least responsibility as possible whenever things goes wrong.
If I was like 90 years old, not new to technology, I'd kill myself. You probably have to go. Old people probably go in person to like the nearest office for whatever business they're trying to get in touch with.
I had like a little bit of, I had that like, even in like healthcare stuff, I had to navigate the American healthcare system.
Stupid.
Where these people like charged my card when I went to go see the doctor when like they said they would be covered by insurance. I got like a $500 charge. And then I wasn't able to contact them. I had to like go through their website. I ended up having to call the number that was attached to the bank transfer. So the entire website was bogus. I never got one response. I sent like 5 emails. But once I called that, then I was able to get somebody. And it's just like, hey, yeah, here's like notes that I've written. Like the medication that you sent was not even the correct type of medication. Like, can I get my money back? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And I'm like, why it took so long, and I had to go through so many hoops and hurdles.
The hoops you have to jump through just to fix a problem that they created with their shitty infrastructure is so fucking annoying. Dude, the recently I got like a summons for jury duty in New York.
Yeah.
I don't fucking live in New York anymore. I've been here for 2 years, right? So my dad sends me this like a picture of this this jury questionnaire or whatever that you're supposed to like mail back or whatever. And he's like, hey, you got jury duty. You gotta let them know you don't live there. So I was like, okay, there's a website on the form. Cool. I'll go on the website and do it online tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. I go online. It's like, question 1, is this your correct birthday and name? Or like enter your fucking ID or whatever that's on the letter. Do that. And then question 2, do you live in New York? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, complete the form and mail it in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's the point of doing the online survey? If anything goes wrong, they're just going to tell you to mail in the thing. So I'm like, all right, there's a phone number. I'll call. I'll try to get in contact with a real human being and be like, hey, I don't fucking live there.
Good luck.
So I call, and it's a robot. And the robot's like, would you like to start your questionnaire? And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And the first question is, what is your ID number or whatever? Is this your birthday correct? Yes, done. And then, do you live in New York? And I'm like, no. They're like, okay, mail in your juror questionnaire with proof that you don't live in New York anymore, and we'll be good. And I'm like, the juror questionnaire is in New York at my old address. Like, the reason I went online and called is because I don't live there and I don't have the juror thing. So my dad was like, I'll scan it and send it to you and you can print it out. I don't know why he didn't do that, but my mom just ended up mailing me the actual letter and stuff.
So you just actually have it now.
Yeah, so I had it and I like filled it out. Then I had to go. I don't have a Texas license yet. I'm getting one soon. So I had to go online and find our lease and find like, I think I used
bank statements or something.
It was like a utility bill for our address. And that was thankfully 1 page, but the lease was like 17 pages. The other options were like tax return, which was like 20 pages, and also had my social security on it, so I didn't really want to put that in the mail. And then like stuff I didn't have, like a passport or
mailing
ID.
stuff in sucks.
Dude,
the most that I've had to do was, which is still annoying, I think it was an option which I much preferred over mailing. I think I had the other option to mail when I did unemployment for a little bit, because when I moved here, I did UPS. I gave them 2 months notice that I was going to be moving. And I had back and forth text conversations with me and my boss, with my boss being like, yep, we'll transfer you. We'll have no issues. It gets to the point that like days before I ask him, I'm like, hey,
are we good?
And he's like, yep, you should be fine. I get here, nothing. Ghosted. I'm like, hey, where am I doing stuff? And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'm not doing the
UPS
job.
Employee anymore.
So I did unemployment, and then they said I no called, no showed, and that I just quit on like without telling anyone.
Even though you gave 2 months notice.
I gave 2 months notice, and so they made me fax. They made me fax screenshot receipts.
Where'd you have to go to find a fax machine?
You can pay a service to fax online. So
okay.
I uploaded documents and like screenshots, and I'm like, hey, here's text messages going back 2 months with my boss talking about how I'm transferring and how that they will transfer me. And then I don't know why, like, this is just like our, I guess, segments just complaining about like systems.
Complaining about
why
systems.
is there no like slap on the wrist for corporations just lying? Like, you should not be able to just lie and be like, oh yeah, he just quit. And just hope that I'm too stupid to figure out a system to prove otherwise.
It's like the innocent until proven guilty thing, and
But
unless
they're
you
proven
like
guilty, there's no slap on the wrist for that. I just told them they blatantly lied. Here's text messages going back 2 months.
yeah, but the slap on the wrist is like, all right, now you don't have to pay them anymore. You know what I mean? They lose money, but for you, it's like a whole fucking like I gotta prove it, and I gotta do all this bullshit, and it's stressful for me, and because it's like they're a corporation, they just put the accusation, and it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
And they just let you have to deal with the stress. Like,
I feel like that's probably just like most companies' default. If you file for unemployment, it's just like, no, you quit. Like, but it's just so funny that they just made up like a lie. Like, it wasn't like you quit on bad terms or whatever. It was like you never told anyone about this. Just didn't show up at all one day. I'm like, that's crazy. Especially knowing that I have text messages going back. Like, this is a thing. Nobody gives 2 months notice.
yeah.
I'm like, I gave 2 months notice.
I thankfully like never had a real like I caddied and now I have a real job, but I never had like a traditional crappy like cashier or you know, like all the jobs that people tend to get like when they're in high school or something. I just
did my UPS.
I just chose the broke life until I turned like 18, and then got lucky because my brother did all the legwork to get into a golf club, and then he was just like, hey, my little brother can work too, and I was like, cool.
Also, I did realize I lied in the wedding questionnaire video. When you asked me what my first job was, you showed USPS. I think I just auto-responded correcting that it was UPS. But UPS was like my second job. My first job was even worse. It was cleaning operation rooms and like prepping them for hospitals.
Oh, dude.
I did that in not in middle school. I did it in high school.
What the fuck? Like mopping up blood? Like Viscera Cleanup?
Yes. No, I thought it was sick though.
Like Viscera
I literally
Cleanup,
thought it was
bro?
sick. I was like, this is awesome. It's literally like Viscera Cleanup. And it's the funniest thing, first day there, right? The lady's showing me around. She goes to open the door. It literally looks like Viscera Cleanup. And she's like,
God.
Funny enough, I think like me, Robin, like our friend group played that like a week before that.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh, like this looks fine. And she started gagging. She started gagging. She said, this is the worst I've ever seen. I'm like, what? There's some blood on the ceiling. There is blood on the ceiling. Like there's blood on the ceiling.
Dude, don't knock
like,
over the bucket, man.
I'm
You have
like,
to re-clean all that.
It's still all in like a circular area, like a radius from the operation table. And I'm like, oh man, they even got it on the lights. And she's like, they got it on the lights? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we'll just get that down. But that was my first job. It paid like $12 an hour. And then when COVID happened, they were like, hey, not only can you like work more, can you go into the COVID rooms, and we're not giving you hazard pay. This is when COVID first started. We didn't know how it transmitted. We didn't know if it killed, like, how many, like, people thought like this could be like the next Black Plague
So
for like a second.
Like, nope,
so I was like, I'm just gonna go work for UPS or now. I'm gonna take any other job, because my friend at Goodwill was making like $13 an hour, $14 an hour, and I'm like, they're even making more money than I am, and I'm not having to deal with COVID patients. Which I thought was, I feel like that should have been like a health, like a crime. Why are you sending?
Yeah, they're putting your life at risk, essentially.
I mean, especially like stepping out of myself, they're putting a high schooler in COVID rooms for like minimum
wage basically.
Was in Los Angeles at the time.
What is minimum wage in Los Angeles?
Now it's changed. I think it's like 15.
I think it's 15 in New York.
But
too.
when I left,
isn't it like 725 here?
Yeah, I think that's federal here.
Jesus.
Federal 725. So if there's no raised state thing, it's 725. I think some cities. I think Austin City has a
higher one. Is it like 12?
Yeah, I think it's 12. But most places here still start at 15 for Austin, as far as I'm aware.
Good shit, Austin.
But no, that was my actual first job.
So you fucking lied. I mean, I would have got the question wrong anyway.
You still
so
would have gotten the question wrong.
Mattered.
But I mean, to be fair, I lied in a better way because it was funnier that you just USPS
I had a fucking minor brain aneurysm.
Plus, it would have been a long explanation for a completely separate job. Like I think this has been like 5 or 6 minutes. That would have been like a quarter of the video would be Viscera Cleanup. Yeah.
If you don't know what Viscera Cleanup is, it's basically a game just entirely designed around mopping up like crime scenes. Basically, like
like comedic crime scenes to the point where it's like, oh yeah, a ninja broke in and killed 500 people, and their body parts are all over this room. Can you please clean it up?
Or like the Santa one where Santa's workshop needs cleaning, and all the elves are like
all the elves
exploded,
have been, like, mold.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's blood all over the walls and body
like,
parts everywhere.
Let it be known, I can, to literally about the highest standard possible, clean up a crime scene. So if Dan goes missing, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It's a spotless room, Nathan did it.
It's me. They're like, man, it smells great in here.
Wow, is that lemon? Is it lemon scent? Wow.
Yeah, no. So I just thought it was a fun, interesting. Should I save like one video, like a random fun, interesting life thing I've done? Pull it out of the bank. That's mine for today. Is the operation rooms.
I don't have interesting things in my life. My life's boring.
You should change that. I made dedicated decisions. I'm like, all right,
this would be more. It would be more interesting if I did this.
That's literally like why I moved here. I was like, all right, because I moved here. Everybody that I moved into my first house was all Discord friends.
Yeah.
Like we only once we met up leading up to agreeing to move in together. We met up for like a week or two and we traveled then. But
when
like,
you went to you did the Disney World stream.
Yeah, Disney World stream.
And you went to Atlanta and the traffic was horrible.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about that really quick.
You saw Connor Eats Pants at the Atlanta Falcons game.
Yeah, but Atlanta just
We didn't actually see him. You just knew he was there.
We knew he was
and
there.
Then you failed to meet up with him.
All right, I'll start with that. So, long story. We're going to dive into it. I moved here to Austin on kind of like a whim. I dropped out of college. I can talk about that later. I dropped out of college.
We talked about it last podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you went to music school and you were like, why am I paying for this shit?
Biggest fan right here.
Big fan.
Ups to this guy.
Big ups.
Big ups to this guy. But I was all right moving in with my friends.
That's a terrible British accent. That's awful.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That
Ignore
was your best effort? That's it. That's your
I
British?
was moving in with my friends.
Okay, Mrs. Doubtfire.
How dare you? Stop it.
Well, there's a little Hermione Granger in there.
Harry.
Jesus Christ. All right. You're going to Atlanta. You're road tripping.
Oh, yeah. Road trip to Atlanta. That was really fun. Zach's brother, Whodad950, his brother plays for, like, well, at the time, played for the Atlanta Falcons. So he was like professional NFL player. So we went up there. That's where we started. I got to meet his family. We watched from like really nice seats.
Where'd you fly into? Atlanta?
Yeah, we just flew into Atlanta, and then we drove down. Yeah, so Noah picked us up because Noah was Pennsylvania.
Noah drove from Pennsylvania to Atlanta.
So he drove down there,
which is crazy.
We all meet, go to the game, then we drive all the way down to Florida for Disney World. And that was really fun. We did a Disney stream. We like basically streamed that entire day. It was a lot, but it was very fun.
And it dropped like 18 million times.
It dropped a bunch.
Because you're just going through
and
Disney with
the
a phone.
VODs, like half the VODs didn't save because we were doing it through the phone, and the phone just has like weird VOD saving systems.
They didn't have an IRL backpack. They just literally went to the Twitch app and said go live, and then just carried their phone around all day going through the Disney parks. So obviously it's gonna drop every time you go under an overhang.
It's fine. Everybody loved it. There are people very consistently.
I'm sure it was an entertaining stream.
Oh, it was for sure because we're all just a bunch of goons, especially
idiot 19-year-olds in Disney World.
And we're already like, we don't even need to try to be like kind of awkward and funny because this is like our first time really meeting with each other. So we're all just kind of like goofing and gaffing the entire time.
Yeah. Was it COVID? Is it mask on mode?
I think it was.
It had to be like 2021, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it was like stuff had to open up if there's Atlanta Falcon game with people attending.
I think we brought COVID stuff. It might have been when things were starting to calm down.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, if you went to an NFL game with a crowd, it had to be like
I don't remember there being
or
too many masks, but I think I brought some because I think there were pictures where I have a mask on.
It was Christmas 2021. because you moved what, like 3 months after that?
Yes.
year?
Yeah. It was like
So
right towards Christmas time. I think I
2021.
flew out on Christmas.
Yeah. Which is crazy. What the fuck?
And we did Christmas with my family in the morning. So I did like I flew out at like 2 or something.
That's wild.
What? What do you want me to do?
That was like 3 months before I moved down here too.
For me, also Christmas is usually just for our families. Just like we wake up, we open presents, and everybody's like, "All right, see you guys."
There's no like Christmas dinner.
No, we don't do Christmas dinner. We do it the night before. Christmas
that's
Eve, we
fair.
do big family thing, and so we'll do that, and then we wake up. Usually everybody's kind of groggy because we stay up super late at the thing, so we just open up presents, kind of chill,
Yeah.
get breakfast, and then that's like, all right, time to go back to bed for most people. And so I was like, all right, well, perfect. Still have the Christmas thing, and then I'll go to see my friends.
That's fucking crazy.
And then I moved to Austin with them, and I definitely another interesting, wacky thing. I could have done anything else with my time or
With
my
your
life,
life.
and I decided, yeah, I'm going to move across the country, not all the way, but
Halfway across the country.
halfway across the country to Austin to do what I was doing, but in Austin now.
Mine was I was predetermined to move here since before I graduated college.
Predetermined.
Like in COVID, I was like, I'm moving to Austin. Like I'm doing it. Me and my friends are doing it.
Yeah.
And then eventually it went from like the 4 of us to just me and my other roommate, my own roommate.
Moving here was such a experience, especially coming from California, where in Los Angeles specifically, it rains like 2-3 times a year. Not actually, maybe like 10 times. But and it's also very light. Here it storms.
Oh yeah, thunder,
This is
lightning.
I
it's like-
actually live in a place with weather now. Weather used to just be like, man, it's drizzling today. That never happens. It's like
I lived through a hurricane, Nathan. I went through Hurricane Sandy on Long Island. Okay, I lived through that.
I went through hurricane here. It's interesting, I'll tell you that much. You're supposed to get away from the windows, but I felt kind of I was probably kind of dumb.
The hurricane did not make it up
Hurricane
here.
made it all the way up
No,
here.
it didn't.
Monsoon hit us.
We're like 3 hours inland.
Dude,
We get the
Where were you when the monsoon hit?
we get a tropical spray that runs off from
the
Houston.
typhoon wiped out my neighbor's house.
No, it didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
The tsunami
We live together.
that attacked
There's no
our...
tsunami 3 hours inland
It
in the
was
hills
a
of
big
Austin.
storm.
Okay, it rains
It was-
hard and it thunders and lightnings
It
hard
was
here.
brewing.
And sometimes there's tornadoes yet to be seen. But it's really
tornado
not that
took,
bad. It's
took
pretty
the
temperate.
roof off of one of the buildings in the place where you used to
Yeah,
live
it
before.
gets pretty windy here.
So there was potential danger.
Well, we
Who
also used to
knows?
live in the flat, like northern farmland part of
Yeah.
Austin, and now we're like kind of deep in the hill.
We got a
the
bunch
River
of
Valley,
strong.
the
We have a
Indus
bunch
River
of
Valley
strong
civilization.
trees that'll keep the wind in check.
You say strong. A branch literally fell and almost hit the side of the house.
Trees do that.
Okay, but
Trees do that.
These trees are not strong. These
It
trees are
fell
old
straight
and
down.
dying trees that
It
have
fell
been here for a
straight
long
down.
time.
They're not dying.
It did not fall straight down. The break was over the house and it kind of just like rolled and luckily didn't damage anything.
No, it wasn't. But it wasn't from weather. That's
It
just
was
a
from
tree.
a storm.
No,
The storm happened the night
No.
before, and then we woke up and there was a branch on the ground.
It's just a tree fallen.
No, it's an old shitty
I had a tree in my backyard. Branches would fall all the time. Like once every 2 years, a big branch would fall. Like it would take down the power sometimes for our
Nathan,
house.
I've been to your house. There are not big ass trees.
The avocado tree is huge.
It's not that big.
It's-
Not like these trees. These are real trees.
Okay, well they're
Your
tall.
LA
Those ones are tall, but the avocado
tree,
tree is thick.
It's just wide. It's like
It's
The
thick.
branch is not gonna fall 20 feet and break your house. It's just gonna
It-
hit your house and roll off and maybe rip a shingle off or two.
But my point was just it's natural for trees to lose branches, including big
I mean
branches.
that's true, but
That's just a natural tree thing.
these trees are old. I had an old dying tree in my backyard when I was a kid, and it looked like that one.
You should kiss it and make it feel better.
Well, it's gotten ripped up and chopped up in a lumber thing and gone now because before my dad 5 head strat before the hurricane, he was like, that tree's old. It could very easily just fall on our house.
So he cut it down.
completely get uprooted and fall on our house and just smash right through the middle of it. So they cut it like in the summer. The hurricane was in like September or October.
Yeah.
They cut it in like July, August, and then when the hurricane was happening, my mom kept saying like, "Thank God we cut that tree down because
Foresight.
that shit would have fucking."
His foresight was
fell, for
immaculate,
sure.
impeccable foresight. This might be dumb. Do trees die of old age?
Yeah,
I feel like yeah, that makes sense.
They do. Everything has a lifespan.
I don't know why.
Nothing's immortal.
My brain just likes the idea of the whimsy that trees can just live forever.
Well,
There are some trees that can live pretty much that time, but
they just become and dropping seeds and then rebirthing.
you did say coming. I like when you
Yeah, I
started
did.
that, I'm like, there must be.
Yeah, your eyes lit up when I said come. That's crazy. They basically wither. Like they don't like just die and disintegrate, but
Yeah.
over a long time, like the bark will become like softer, and then like the tree will become like more gray, and like bark will start breaking off, and then it'll just wither away.
Do you ever get the desire to eat wood chips?
No. Have you ever had the desire to eat wood chips?
There's an allure.
Just because
An allure.
just because they're called
Okay.
chips doesn't mean you can eat them. No, Nathan.
Well, I'm adding that to another reason to eat them because that's not the reason why. But I'll take that as well. Speaking of chips, root beer. That's what I describe root beer as in my head. I'm like, oh, it's like wood chip water.
No.
Wood chip water.
It's like sugary.
I would go to parks and those like metal like faucets that they'd have to drink out of, like drinking
Like
fountains.
a water fountain, yeah.
I love when it would get really hot and I could have hot water.
Like
I would drink the
hot water?
I would drink the hot water.
That's weird. I mean,
So
I would
I
drink
might-
it because
it
I'd be
might-
thirsty, but like it's
I
not
might
like
have
it's not
some
like I prefer
deficiencies.
this.
I might have deficiencies because of it.
That's actually crazy. You're a freaking lunatic.
But there's something. There's
There's
an
not
allure.
something.
There's
No,
an
there's not.
allure.
It's
There's
just
something
warm.
about it. It's like wood chips.
Just drink soup if you want hot.
I don't
hot
fuck with
beverage.
soup. I fuck with warm water.
Oh my god! All right, then just put some microwavable water or something.
I've never actually tried making warm water at home. I've kind of
Boil it. You
I
ever made
saw-
pasta?
Nope.
Then you have made warm
Nope,
water at
nope,
home.
nope, nope.
I watched you make
Nope,
pasta.
nope.
Nathan was making pasta the other day, and he turns on the heater and immediately puts the pasta in it before the water started to boil.
I wasn't thinking.
He just had- He had the spaghetti in just room temp water while it's like before it boiled on
I
the stove.
wasn't thinking. I'm sorry. I got hungry.
Oh, God.
I was trying to be efficient. I was setting everything up. I turned the fire on.
But you have to wait till it's boiling. You just
I
dumped
will say
it in
it was
frame one.
extra funny because I looked at it too. You're next to me. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here. I'm like, why is this not cooking? And I'm like, oh, boiling. And you looked over. You're like, it's not. Why'd you do
Are
that?
you
I'm
fucking
like,
dumb? I'm like, what kind of you're crazy? You're like, what is going on here? And I'm just like, you didn't wait for the water to fucking boil, you moron. And then you're like, oh my god, what am I doing?
just like the biggest like. I don't know why it escaped my grasp, but
oh dude,
I normally I will say I
what-
boil the water before I cook pasta.
I don't want to say that's one of the dumbest things you've ever done because you do a lot of dumb things.
Can
but
you,
it's,
wait,
it's gotta
I
be
can
up
bring
there.
a fun fact about myself to bring me up, and then you can bring a dumb thing to bring me down.
Okay.
We do that every episode.
We yin and yang.
Yeah.
So what was your smart thing? The Viscera Cleanup?
Yeah, I guess the Viscera Cleanup
That's pretty cool.
smart. Well, it doesn't need to be smart, but just a fun fact.
A little extraordinary.
Because this was all to tell you that you can do fun things and interesting things in your life too. You too
Wow.
can be a Viscera Cleanup person. So that way you don't have to be like Dan and say, yeah, I haven't really done anything fun or interesting in my life.
I'm gonna go to England next year and go to a soccer game for Arsenal, and that'll be cool, and interesting, and fun.
That's the one thing I went to. What
Dude,
about
yeah, there's
Viscera
gonna be- I'm
Cleanup
gonna have
IRL? Viscera Cleanup IRL?
You wanna do a video?
Oh, bring back my memories.
What?
Everybody, I just walk them through I could do that.
Dude, we need to convince somebody because we're not gonna do it in this house.
I can just get my hospital job and just bring a vlog camera and be like, yo, what up, vlog squad?
No, we need to-
Oh my god, I should have done that. I should have been the IRL Viscera Cleanup guy. I could have done like satisfying videos of cleaning
That's
up
actually true. Don't make
operation
sick
rooms.
TikToks. Like
But
the
it would not
lawnmower
be
guys.
allowed. It would not be allowed at all because it's all blood and gore and it's real
that would
blood.
not get monetized. You ever
it's
seen the
all
lawnmower
pixelated.
guys who are like they just knock on a door and they're like, "Hey, can I clean up your yard?" And the guy's like, "No," and he's
It's-
like, "I'm not for free." And the guy's like, "Oh, maybe." And he's like, "Let me do it." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he goes and cleans the overgrown yard and does a before and after.
I've seen people also do that for like pressure washing. Like the entire channel's just
same sort of thing, same vibe.
I just cleaned up this guy's garage for like
Literally
driveway
same
for
vibe.
free, and I'm just like down. Honestly, so down.
Same exact concept.
It's the same type of concept, but not as much of a public good. But like those like building home videos and stuff. Just like watching like menial tasks being done by somebody
Watch me
who's
set
really
up my
good at
tiny
them.
home, and they just like fucking prop up a house.
I want to build a tiny home.
Oh yeah, you have a tiny home.
I want to build
fantasy.
a tiny home. I'm building a tiny home in the backyard.
The hardest part is getting the property.
Absolutely. That is a lot of the time, but it's so funny the amount of people who make tiny home videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause if you watch enough, you'll find like you'll probably first the algo will feed you like big channels.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find independent guys and are like, "Yep, I'm doing this so I can just park on a red." Like, yeah, I don't pay to be on this lot, but you know what? They're not going to be able to find me. And if they tell me to move, I could just move I could just put it in the back of my van and drive away.
Even though they're literally like incriminating themselves by
Yep.
showing their exact location
Yes.
and filming it.
It's so funny. There's one guy who's literally just like, yeah, I just don't pay for any stuff here. I'm just I'm put here. He was like, yeah, the French police have like been trying to find me, and I'm like, that's insane.
Dude, don't let the French police get a hold of Rainbolt,
But the
man. They'll
thing
find
is,
him in an instant.
I think he was being honest because it was like a throwaway line. It had nothing to do with the video at all. He's
just
like
flexing.
This was
He
like
was
literally like
flexing
towards
on the
the
French
end.
police.
He was literally like, yeah, they can't find me. I know my address. I just use this. It's really convenient. I can park anywhere. They can't
He was
track me.
literally flexing on the French police.
He's
He was
a French.
like,
I'm
he's
assuming
like, come
he.
and get me, pussies.
I swear to
That's what
God, he
said,
must be like
but
a
in
French prepper, a French doomsday prepper.
He's like, come and get me, you pussies. Was that good French?
Oui, very good, pussy.
Your French is better than your British, I'll say that.
What you mean about my accent?
Yeah, all right.
Wait, give me accents. Actually, no. This
Australian.
Oh fuck. Hello. I am Australian.
Hello, mate. No, you got to do Sassy the
Good,
Sasquatch.
good day, mate.
Have you ever seen that show?
Sasquatch.
No, Sassy the Sasquatch, the Big Les show.
No.
Is this Australian guy who like hand drawn animates just like
Yeah.
the Sasquatch characters and like humans that are like the Sasquatches are immortal, or and some of the humans are too or something, and they just like do drugs and do crazy shit because they're immortal, and he's just like
I might have actually. That was just like it's like a really like scuffly done.
Yes, it's on TikTok mostly. That's where I've seen it at least. And Sassy the Sasquatch would be like, "Hey, go on, mate," and they'll be like, "I'm Sassy the Sasquatch. Nice to meet you." And he just talks like that. And he's
That's
a really
like-
high, soft voice.
Stop. Time check.
We're done.
We're done.
I checked the clock at 7:10 after it was
Okay.
just like 5-10 minutes in between we were going, so we can wrap.
We can rap.
Yeah. No, not like that.
I hope you like the Bozo show.
We're
But
not-
now it's time. We got to go.
Cut
Wrap
this.
up the show. Dan,
Let me
hit the
know
mic.
what
Hit it real
your
cool.
favorite
My
games
pussy
were
is tight.
from, huh? Let me know what your favorite games were from the Summer Game Fest and the Xbox release.
Killer
what
Bean.
you're most excited for. Us, it's Killer Bean, obviously, because we're going to play the shit out of that.
Batman versus Ratman is dumb as fuck, and I don't know how the voice actor was able to be. I'll
It's a
get
stupid,
you. I'll
that's a
get you,
stupid VR game. They're
Ratman.
doing a VR game for Batman, whatever.
Ratman.
Whatever. All right, let me know in the comments and take it easy. Have a good week, all right, guys? We'll see you next week and on Friday and on Sunday for
on Sunday.
an IRL challenge and a gaming video that we're going to film right after
Yep.
this. So, goodbye.
Bye. There's fucking shit in my water.
Frick.
There's cotton in my water.
This is going to be great in the outro card.